Hello, my name's Vicky and I'm the Youth and Children's Pastor for the Beacon Church, and it's great to be here today to tell you a little bit about the Easter story. Now, the Easter story is the story that Christians believe, which is the reason that we have the Easter festival, which is just about to come up, where we love chocolate Easter eggs. Now, I'm going to be reading you the story and you're going to see some pictures, and we're also going to pause and ask some questions. Now, your teacher or grown-up in charge of you will tell you how to do that. If they want you to chat with a partner or if they want you to think just on your own, they'll let you know, and they'll pause the video for you too. So let's start with a question. Imagine that the Queen or someone really important was going to come and visit your street. How do you think they would arrive? If it was the Queen, what kind of car do you think she'd come in? What would the people in your street do? Would they get their houses looking nice? Would they stand on the pavements? Would they shout things? Have a think and see what you can come up with. So our story about Easter starts on a Sunday called Palm Sunday. Now, not this kind of palm, that's the palm of our hand, but palm as in palm trees. Let's find out why it's called Palm Sunday, shall we? So you'll see some pictures come up as I read. It says, Jesus on a donkey. I need a donkey, said Jesus. It will help me do God's work. Jesus' friends looked here, they looked there, but they didn't see a donkey. Where will we get a donkey? They asked. Jesus told his friends where to get the donkey. He said a man would give them one. Jesus' friends went to the man. May we use your donkey? They asked. Yes, said the man. He was happy to lend his donkey to Jesus. Then Jesus got on the donkey. He went into a big town called Jerusalem. Many people went with him to the big town and they shouted, Jesus is our king. In Jerusalem, Jesus told lots of people about God, and he got ready for a special meal. He told them how to please God. He told them that he would die for them and that God had sent Jesus to do these things. This is the work that Jesus had come to do for God. So here's a question for you. So can you remember how Jesus arrived in Jerusalem? What was he riding? Yes, if you said donkey, you are absolutely right. Now, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Because Jesus is a really important person in the Bible. And so we wouldn't think that he'd arrive on a donkey. We'd think he'd arrive on something more important. But no, it was a donkey. Can you imagine the Queen arriving on a donkey? I don't think so. Can you remember why Jesus has come to Jerusalem? Yes, he's come to tell people about God, but also to get ready for a special meal. Let's read about that special meal, shall we? Where shall we eat? Jesus' friends asked. Jesus told them where it would be. They would eat at a house in Jerusalem, so Jesus' friends went there. They put supper together. Then Jesus and his 12 friends ate together. Eat this bread, Jesus said. When I am gone, you will do this again and again. Then you will think of the way that I died for you. His friends ate the bread, but they were sad. They didn't want Jesus to die. Drink from this cup, Jesus said. When I am gone, you will do this again and again. Then you will think of the way that I died for you. Jesus' friends drank from the cup, but they were sad. They didn't want Jesus to die. And suddenly the friends heard someone singing. It was Jesus. Jesus' friends began to sing too. This was a special time because Jesus was so special. Now is a remembering question. Can you remember how many friends Jesus shared his special meal with? Yes, if you said 12, you are absolutely right. And did you hear that Jesus said some odd things? He said that he was going to die, and that made his friends feel really sad, didn't it? Now, the Bible, which Christians read, tells us that Jesus would have said this on and off, but they obviously didn't really understand it. And it's not a surprise, is it? Sometimes when we hear news that we don't really understand, we can forget it quite easily. Now, Jesus had many, many friends and had told so many people about God and how much God loved them. But the Bible does say, and the Christians read in the Bible, that not everybody really liked what Jesus had to say. And in fact, some people really didn't like it and they wanted to get rid of Jesus. Now, here's a question. Here's a chance for you to be honest. Have you ever been told off for something that you didn't do? Have you ever been told off for something you didn't do? Have a chat, have a think, see what you can come up with. Yes, it's a really tricky thing, isn't it? When we get told off for something that we didn't do, it feels really unfair and we don't like it at all. But that's exactly what happened to Jesus in the next part of our story. Let's have a read. Nail that man to the cross, someone said. So the men nailed Jesus to the cross and they watched him die. Jesus hadn't hurt these men, but they were hurting him. Jesus had talked to these men about God, and he said, "Forgive them for hurting me," he said. These people hadn't seen a man like this. They were hurting him, but he was loving them. "That man is the Son of God," said one of them. When Jesus died on the cross, he showed them how much he loved them. And he showed how much he loves you and me. He loves us so much that he died so that we can come close to God. That's a funny thing for the Bible to say, isn't it? How can somebody dying bring us close to God? That's a tricky one. So, can you remember why the people were hurting Jesus? Yeah, the Bible said that it was because Jesus was saying things about God that they didn't like. Now, here's the thing. Do you think that in the Bible, and Christians believe that that is the end of the story? No. Christians believe that the Bible says a lot more about what happened to Jesus. Shall we find out what happens next? It says, Mary, that's one of Jesus's followers, was so sad. Some men had killed Jesus, and now Mary had come to see where they had put him. But Jesus wasn't there. "Someone's taken him away," said Mary, and she began to cry. Then some angels talked to Mary. "Why are you crying?" they asked. "Someone has taken Jesus away," she said. Then Mary saw a man coming. "Why are you crying?" he asked. "Someone has taken Jesus away," she said. "Mary," said the man. "Jesus," said Mary. Mary was so happy. Jesus was alive again. "Oh, I can't stay with you," Jesus said. "I must go back to my home in heaven." But now Mary knew that Jesus was the Son of God. So Jesus in our story came back to life. That was a surprise, wasn't it? So can you remember, though, why Mary, when she arrived at the tomb to see where they'd put Jesus originally, can you remember why she was crying? Yes, she thought that someone had moved or taken Jesus's body away and she wouldn't be able to come and be sad there and remember him. But actually, when she heard that Jesus wasn't there because he'd come back to life, that was a real surprise, wasn't it? Now, Christians believe that Jesus came back to life, and not just to be some kind of ghosty thing, but actually came back to life. And there's lots of different bits after that that tell us that Jesus ate with people or that Jesus met different people. Now, I don't know about you, but one of my favourite things about Easter are Easter eggs. I really love an Easter egg. For some reason, chocolate tastes so much nicer when it looks like an egg. But I don't know if you know why we have Easter eggs. Do you think you can think of a reason that at Easter why we might have eggs? Yeah, there's loads of different reasons actually. Eggs are a symbol of new life, aren't they? Now, I know that in early years, later on after Easter, you're going to be thinking about how we grow and how things grow. And I think you're even going to have some duck eggs to look at and see how they hatch and grow. But at Easter, so we think about new life now. We think about lovely trees coming back to life, and the new spring flowers are poking up through the ground, showing us that things are pretty and happy and getting warm again. So it's like the world's coming back to life, isn't it? A little bit after winter. Another reason that we have eggs is because that we think of Jesus giving, Christians think that Jesus gives them new life. That when they come and know Jesus, that they get offered a chance of having a new life with him. But another reason that we have Easter eggs at Easter, and if you look at my egg, do you think that it has lots of things in it, or is it empty? It's empty, isn't it? And so Christians believe that the reason we have empty eggs is to symbolize the fact that the tomb, and if you imagine this is like the stone being rolled back, there we go, and the tomb is empty. So there has been our Easter story. Now, I'm sure that you might have more questions, and I'm sure if you wanted to, your teachers or grown-ups could either answer those, or you can always contact me, and I'm more than happy to try and answer some questions. But I have one last question to ask you before I go. I will say goodbye now, goodbye, but I'll leave you with this question. What's your favourite kind of chocolate?